Well, I'm not going to waste much time here because we have to get busy. This, of course, is the mighty SAAB, and we're in cargo livery right now because we are delivering a bunch of last-minute emergency supplies into Tallahassee, Florida. Hurricane Hermine is bearing down. We might already be too late. I hope we're not. We're on the ground here at Eglin Air Force Base. We've just received our load of cargo, and we're started up. Our route is programmed in. We are just about ready to depart. So let me just get all of our final stuff done here before we take the runway. Turn on our auto Corson. Set our CTOT. We've got maximum cargo and about a half a load of fuel, so it is not going to be quick getting us into the air here, but we're going to do the bestest we can and try not to fry the engines while we're at it. Anyway, we will turn on our transponder. We're going to turn on our radar for all the good it is going to do us. We're basically flying into near hurricane conditions, so this could get a little bit funky, a little bit fast. We're going to try and shoot an ILS approach into runway 27 there. The wind at the moment is, let's see what we got. We've got altimeter 2931, and we've got wind 050, 35, gusting 52. Alright, so that tells you, I think, everything you need to know. We've got flaps 5. Right now, here in an Eglin Destin, we are actually in relatively calm conditions, I suppose you'd call it. We're going to cruise at 11,000. We've got pitot heat and windshield heat already on. We'll get ready to use any prop de-ice or anything else we need. It could, again, get kind of ugly. We are in heading select mode right now. We're just going to get vectors out of here. Speed is of the essence, and we'll see if we can get the supplies in. Wind here is actually pretty calm. Let's check our flaps, check our trim. Looks good. Our course is set. We are on GPS. We are on nav source left. We're going to be taking off on runway 12, which seems to be about 800 feet wide. I think it's like a 300-foot wide runway or something absurd here. This was designed for B-52 bombers. And I believe we're just going to run and gun. Okay, takeoff power is set. $80 knots. We're going to hold it on for a little bit here. And we should fly right about now. And we do. And gear up. Pop straight into nav mode here and just get our carcasses going. Climb at that speed mode. If you look at our autopilot mode control panel, you'll see that we're climbing in a speed mode here, and I can toggle that speed to 180, 160, or 140. It's basically just IAS mode on the cheap. Okay. We will in 1 second take out our CTOT. We'll do that now. We're at 1,500 feet. Out comes the CTOT. Down comes the power ever so slightly. Up come the flaps. Back comes the props. And we'll just monitor our engine temperatures here and climb as hot as we possibly can. The weather here is inexplicably good. We're going to use X-Plane zone weather this time, see how it does with real world weather. And we can now bring our climb to 160, so I'm going to toggle that to there. Notice our flight director bars come down. And down we go, square up our heading bug. Good. Just get right up at our temp limits right there. Our outside air temperature is 18°C, so we're not yet in any icing trouble. Okay, I can turn off the auto coursing. If I can see it right there, there we go. And just enjoy hand flying this thing while I can, because in a very short while we will not be able to. The weather is going to get significantly crappy. Matter of fact, I'm kind of shocked that it isn't significantly crappy right now. I want to use this because I've been using SkyMax and my VRAM has been disappearing. And I'm beginning to wonder whether it is SkyMax that's doing it. So, pardon me while I refresh myself. Right now, by the way, I'm just flying hands off, totally, completely, utterly hands off. And we'll climb up to 11,000 feet. And getting all sorts of shit from weather loading there. I'm convinced there is something wrong with my setup somehow. Okay, we're climbing at a nice stable 1,000 feet a minute or so. Our engine temps are fine. Our oil pressures are fine. Our cabin pressurization is fine, even though we don't have a cabin. At least our cockpit pressurization is fine. And basically I've just pitched us to hold that speed right there. And now I'm beginning to worry about why I don't really see any weather. But I'm not going to worry that long. In any case, we are over the Florida Panhandle, and as you can see, we are in a fine fettle here. That's beautiful looking. Trimmed to perfection. following the Huchamawachi River there. I have no idea what it's called, but that sounds vaguely right for Florida. I've managed to map our course button, our course knob, which is down there, which is very inconvenient to a joystick pair of switches, so I can now adjust that with my thumb, so I am in pig heaven. Our engine performance looks good. I'm just gonna wait until we can bring our props down a little bit more to set prop sync, I think. But we can bring our props down a bit more, can't we? Yeah, we can climb at about 13, about 12 and a half. Which is going to drive our torque up, which may heat our engines up a little bit. We'll see. That's about as far as I dare go. Notice how our torque climbs because we're taking bigger chunks of the air, obviously, even as the air is getting a little thinner. And I'll just turn on our prop sync right now. Generally you have to have them very close if you're going to sync them up, so let me just very quickly get our autopilot in. There we go. Take a look at our props here and get them just about right so that our freight doesn't get disturbed by the noise. There we go. And on can come prop sync. Alright, so we're going up to 11,000. We are going to be coming in on the ILS 27 of Tallahassee. Get that plate up. Our initial approach fix will be Cody's, and we're basically, and again, apologies, I can't get the sky vector up on this screen while I'm recording it because it still wreaks havoc on my frame rates, and by havoc I mean it reduces them to 1 or 2 frames a second, so that's obviously not good. But the route we're taking is along the Panhandle. We're going direct Panama City, direct Tiers, which is right on the coast, and then to Wound, which is southeast of the airport, Cody's, which is a little farther north, and then on an intercept to the ILS 27, which actually we should get set right now, is 111.9. Okay, 1,000 away. Now watch this. We're going to toggle up our speed now to 180. We'll sink our nose. Maybe a little too much. Yeah, a bit too much. I was going to say it was going to be just perfect for leveling us off, but it ain't. So just bring that speed down a little bit. Come on. Into IAS mode. Bring it down just a tad. There we go. We'll climb the rest of the way at about 500 feet per minute. I know you could also slip it into vertical speed mode and do it that way, but we're 500 away, going up at 500 feet per minute. That won't make the freight queasy, and it's freight anyway. Alright, so 1119 is the localizer. Get that set up, ready to go. And we will also get that in Nav 2. And I'll show you why in a second. And inbound course is 272. Now watch what we're going to do. We're not going to set inbound course on the left. We will set it on the right, and you'll see why in 1 second. Just look at the upper left-hand corner of your screen. You see those numbers. That's the course that we're setting. 272. Now, watch the magic as it happens here. We will hit second course, and that's going to be our localizer when it comes in, and that way we can stay on our GPS course for a little while. Then we can switch our nav source straight over to nav 2, which happens to be this. It will automatically switch us into nav mode, and it will acquire the localizer almost as if by magic. Alright, in the meantime, let's just get a little more speed going here. I'm just watching our temperature gauge. We're not torque limited, as you can see. We are temp limited. I'm just going to keep those temps right below the danger zone. Pile on as much speed as I can. I'm going to set this for a pretty speedy descent when we finally do make it. Descend faster than we're cruising, actually. And I think we're starting to see our weather. Knowing X-plane, though, we see it always at the last minute anyway. Alrighty, let's see where we are to plan our descent. And actually, since we're flying along the panhandle, I actually like to see this north up, because it will better geographically lay out our route. As you can see there, Teres or Tiers, and then inbound this way. Flight plan, we want to be, we're 100. We are 101, or 100 away from Cody's, so we want to go down to Cody's. Where do we want to be? Cody's at 3,000, yeah. So we'll set that up as our little guide here. Just keeping an eye on our temps and our course and our wind, which is now 026. Okay, 3,000. Enter, enter. Enter, enter. Cody's. Enter. And we'll do descent rate about 1,000 feet per minute. 1,100 feet per minute. Okay, so we're 15 minutes away from top of descent already. Okay, that's our procedure. Don't want to activate it yet. Bring our range in a notch. Alright, that's Panama City, I believe. And the clouds are remarkably scarce for a hurricane. But that's the way X-plane rolls. See what it looks like out here. At least the frame rates are really good. I tried a flight similar to this a short time ago and with SkyMax, and the frame rate sucked, which is very puzzling because generally speaking, SkyMax actually gives you much better performance. But it could just be an oddity. It just could be a quirk, and that quirk is probably to do with beta this and beta that and beta drivers and 10.5 being a release candidate and people haven't had time to work with it enough and something. And I found that I was getting very, very shy on VRAM. I just want to see something right here very, very quickly before I do anything else and see how much VRAM I'm using. So forgive me for interrupting the flight here for 1 second. Go to rendering options. Okay. 100% cloud detail. We are using, yeah, we still have 36 or 3500 megs of VRAM left, and with SkyMax we had like 800 left. So I mean, it's obviously grabbing something it probably shouldn't be grabbing, and that's probably what's doing it. But in the meantime, what we will do is refresh our weather, just because. X-Plane doesn't do it that well, so look at this shit we're going to be flying into here. Get our local altimeter as well. Probably over Panama City right now. More like Tyndall Air Force Base. So weather is, come on, 2965, and just looking for clouds here. Overcast at 2100. Peak wind 320 at 26, gusting 250. Yikes. So 3065 is where we are right now. And we are, at least for the moment, in relatively good shape. You can see that crab we've got going because there is a wind from our left. Look at that. See how we're pointed into it? And as you can see right there, the wind vector reflects that physical reality. And the other thing that does is the offset of our heading, which is where our nose is pointed, with respect to our track, which is where the carcass of our airplane is going. And let's see, outside air temperature is 0 Celsius, so we should be ready to use some ice prevention, especially when we start descending. We'll be cold and we'll be coming through probably some really, really, really moist air. At least I'd be shocked if we weren't. I'm just leaving my lights on and everything all the way. We're at 11,000 feet. Doesn't matter. Might as well be seen by the few people who might be up here. You never know. Every little bit helps when somebody might be flying out of a cloud, especially if they're climbing out of a cloud. Can't see shit when you're climbing through a cloud. Let me just see if our engine anti-ice lights light up when we put them on. And they do. Okay, that's cool. Just gonna cycle our boots for a second here. Okay, those don't enunciate down there. Probably because they're not crucial to the operation of the airplane, other than not falling out of the sky. Yeah, I don't like this, but probably this is saving us a ton of memory. But it ain't right. There's no way there's one constant cloud, a single big cloud here that follows us every step of the way. But that's X-plane. Here, let's do this now. Let's just see the contrast here, if you don't mind. Let's turn on SkyMax and Real Weather Connector. Whoa, hello. Watch it stutter. And can it actually be that it's very similar? Make sure our real weather is still turned on. And it is not. So now we should turn it on. And turn it on. And take a look. We could just be in a band of clear right here. This is a hurricane after all. Yeah, I guess we're in a clear band. Alright, but now let's look at our, sorry to keep doing this, but let's look at our VRAM. I love that hydraulic pump. I love it to pieces. Alright, now, our VRAM is about the same. Alright, we'll try our luck. I don't want to get so crappy on frames that this becomes hard to fly. Or hard to watch. We should be atop a descent very, very soon. And if we're lucky, maybe we've snuck in just in the middle of one of these, in between one of these storm bands. Okay, 8 minutes away from TOD. We're in military airspace, I believe. But that's okay. They sent us here. Alright, so there we are. We're on kind of like a lengthy base leg, and Tallahassee should be right about... Oh, and it's starting to get crappy. Alright, well... In a real serious weather program, we would see this weather out on the horizon, but not here. What's interesting is that my deep suspicion is that the platform with the serious weather options, which is P3D or FSX, is not as good a platform, so there's your trade-off. This seems to be a better platform, and now we've got a 32-knot tailwind, so wow. Look at us getting a shove now. You can see the ground just moving faster. Yeah, our ground speed now is 238 knots. We're getting a big old shove on the back. And that's going to affect our, that's actually going to affect our descent rate. We'll make allowances for that. Probably begin our descent a little bit sooner. Anyway, we'll do our pre-descent checks, our flows. Everything is just fine. I shouldn't be yawning like I'm bored. It's just been a long day at work, and I am a little bit, as they say, knackered. That is K-N-A-C-K-E-R-E-D, and knackered, which is similar, I suppose, to being thraped. Oh, somebody told me what thraped is. It means basically beaten, as in thrashed. So thank goodness there were no other connotations to it. Dealing with my little noisy engine control here. Just trying to tweak it up a little bit. Alright, well, we're not thraping our engines, or at least we're not doing it mercilessly. Now we've got a 36 knot wind coming right behind, rear quartering. Our ground speed is now up to 268 knots, and our temps are down to -7. Let's Let's just see if we have any ice forming anywhere. I don't know exactly what kind of ice this plane models, but I don't see anything yet. And so far our frame rates are okay. And I guess we're about 5 minutes from TOD. Hey, how do you like that? My internal chronometer works like a charm. And we are going to be inbound Cody's in 1 second. I still don't quite know how this works versus this. I did set up Cody's here as well, so I would be able to program a descent properly. But I don't know if I did the right thing. At some point we'll just activate the approach and it will jump us straight to here, so I'm not sure it matters, but okay, 4 minutes to TOD. And we are getting veritably rocked. 36 knot tailwind. Ground speed of faster than a speeding bullet. Yikes. 272 is going to be our inbound course when the time finally comes. Matter of fact, I'm just going to preset that now because as long as we're in GPS mode, it's not going to do anything. It's going to complain, but it won't affect, it'll affect our secondary display, but not our primary display. And I want everything ready to go. Alright. Yeah, so now this is set to 272, so actually... and this is, I believe, taking nav 1, at least at the moment. And we are now... we're actually 26 miles from the field, just off in the wrong direction. So it's not raining there right now. Or at least it isn't according to our weather engine. Just going to take one last look at it. I don't trust any of this crap. Alright, we're rendering a bunch of clouds. Apply those changes. That's all good. Do whatever we can to bring our performance up a little bit here. Okay, there we go. And one last time, yes, real weather. Yep, we seem to be in a band of clear at the moment, which doesn't preclude high winds from plaguing our souls. But we're certainly getting buffeted about slightly, as you can see. Alright, almost at TOD. Minute away. We'll just set 3,000 now. As our platform. And pop ourselves into IAS mode, roll off a little bit of power, and begin our descent. So to keep an eye on that needle, and I'm gonna get it down to right. Well, this is going to be hard to we're having gusting winds, so this is going to fluctuate. So we'll just try to keep a constant pitch here. You can see 33 nautical miles an hour, and actually with a ground speed of 272, we really want to be at about 1,300 feet per minute. So we'll just come down in our power a bit. That's about right. Got it. Okay, as soon as we turn towards Cody's, we can activate our approach. Maybe we'll wait till we cross Cody's. Let's see how it sequences us. Okay, descending there at... Let's roll off. No, we're doing about right. On average, we're doing okay. We should set local altimeter, which good God, I believe it's unbelievably low. Let's see, at the moment it is... My finger isn't blocking it. 2931. Criminy. Which will help us a little bit. Actually lower than expected. I'm going to roll in a little more power. Come off our rate of descent a little bit. So now this wind is going to start to do some funky things to us. It's going to push us to the east of our intended course. We will correct for it nicely, I'm sure. Alright, we're 25 from Cody's and we only have to come down 5 miles, so let's just decrease our rate of descent a little bit. I'm actually going to carry as much speed as I can here, especially low to the ground, because there is wind shear, lots of it around. Alright, so we're 24 away from the airport. Again, in the wrong direction. Come off that speed power a little bit. No, that's a decent rate of descent. Right about there. Again, I'm just doing this by adjusting my power levers and accounting for a little bit of lag. You know what, if I activate the approach here, I believe it'll just take us straight to Cody's. So let's do that. Well, let's see what it does. If not, we can just go back to Cody's. It's no problem. Alright, so there we go. We're inbound to Cody's. And it has identified the localizer, so that's good too. It's 6,900 away, and we've got 4 minutes to go. And that means we've got 4,000 to come down in 4 minutes, so if we come down at 1,000 feet per minute, we should be good. So first I'm going to roll out a little bit of power, and I'm actually going to get below my target. So we'll get it down to about... it's hard to figure with the gusts because the wind keeps coming back in. And okay, now what we'll do is we'll also bring our speed down a little bit here. Now that's going to balloon us up a bit, so I'm just doing this gently. Taking out the power, bring up the speed, letting the speed bleed off, come down to 175. That's where we can put in our first notch of flaps. Alright, we'll turn off our prop sync. Reach it. Turn on our auto coursing. Everything else is good to go. We're still looking for the localizer. We're coming down at the right rate, only now we're coming down at a better speed. Oh, that is sweet. It gives us time to go as well as distance to go. Look at that. So I don't really have to have this up if I don't want to. But I want to. So this is going to turn us right onto the approach. At which point we'll skip into nav mode. Into radio navigation mode, and we'll intercept the localizer. Okay, 4,000, and we got 3 minutes to go, so we can bring in a little bit of power. And if this is the only weather we're going to get coming in here, then we are just sneaking in perfectly, aren't we? It'll be windy, but it shouldn't be problematic. One hopes. Alright, we are now 2 minutes away, so let's just level ourselves out a little. Again, looking to see the localizer. We're 16 from the field. Should be right around there. I'm a little bit disappointed we don't have the weather, but what we do have is clouds moving pretty damn quick. And right now, my God, we've got a lull in the wind too. This is no kind of adventure. Not for Jack Armstrong, all-American boy and pilot. Alright. There's our localizer. Alright, we're pretty heavy, so we're going to want to come over the field at about 117, 120 knots. Can't believe our good fortune. Just snuck in. Alright, getting close to our little level off here. We timed it well. Here's our turn to our intercept. Basically, we're going to turn to about there. You'll see in a second. Okay, we're at 9 Celsius. We can, we'll leave our windshield heat on in case we hit a bird. Alright, there's 3,000. In a second, it'll click out of IAS mode. Here comes our localizer, which is actually that one right there. And at this point we're going to get into heading mode, and we'll do it that way as soon as we come wings level. Get a little more power in. set runway heading because that's our next stop. Okay, so this is our GPS course, and this is going to be our radio navigation course. What I think we will do right now is just going to say pop into heading select mode, but let's try it another way. We'll wait till nav 2 starts moving, and then we'll flip our nav source over to nav 2, or to right side nav, and do it that way. First things first though, let's get our full complement of props in. Right up to max there. There we go. That's for landing, and also for go around if need be. That'll give us more drag too, but it will give us faster prop response. There we go. Let the speed come down a little bit here. Alright, I'm at 40% torque. Let's see how that works for us. Good, that gets us right where we want to be. Okay, here we come. I'm going to let the the GPS turn us. And as soon as we get established, you know what? As soon as we get established, watch what I'm going to do here. Going to just... it automatically switches us into... No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Look at that. That's frickin' genius. Alright, so we will get into approach mode as well, because we are right there. And here we go. Drop a notch of flaps. Look at that. That's a gorgeous thing. We can turn off our second course now. I didn't realize it automatically makes the switch. That is truly groovy. Alright, we're 9.4 out. There's the field. And right now we only have a 3-knot... I can't believe this. We only have a 3-knot crosswind. I thought this was going to be an adventure. Alright, well... 8.7 out. Go gear down. Slow to VREF. There we go. I don't know why our frame rates are going to shit. I bet you we're going to get on the ground and find out that we have no VRAM left, which will be thanks to SkyMax. There's no wind whatsoever. I have no excuse to screw up this this arrival. 6.6 out. Well, this is just dandy. Might as well get fully configured. Need a little bit more torque than that. Okay, flaps full, gear down. I can't believe this. Cannot believe this at all. Just keep an eye on our torque settings here. This is, we are not in the eye, but we're between the bands of the storm. That is really amazing. Alright, well, I guess we better go flying. Cannot believe this. Alright, we're just at the right speed. cannot believe this at all. We have no wind. If I don't grease this, I'm a very poor excuse for a pilot. We are perfectly on speed. A little bit of pilot-induced oscillation there. Actually, there's a little tiny bit of gust component, so... And my yoke has got a little dead spot right in the middle. But... there we go. Can do no better than that. Look at that. Alright, well, our boy didn't botch it this time. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Alright, let's get this cargo unloaded before the storm hits. Get ourselves vacated here. This plane tends to stick in, the props tend to stick in beta on the runway. But the brakes are very easily modulated. That is, it's got pretty damn good ground handling, I'll say that much. And welcome to Tallahassee. This is really a little bit weird. But let's get unloaded right straight ahead there. There's one of the emergency, one of the medevac choppers there waiting. Get them the supplies they need. Very nice. Alright, so let's just check our well, let me see if I can still do an instant replay, or whether this thing's going to be dragging all this stuff through the air. Oh, damn. Here, hang on a second. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Okay, remove that, remove that. There we go. Alright, so here we come. Let's see how we do. We're in the absolute perfect attitude here. We do not have an attitude problem, I'll tell you that much. Look at it valiantly trying to render all the stuff here. That is... oh, there's the GPU. Can't we turn that off? Hang on. Damn it. Well, it's not going to come off. You'll see a landing there with our little GPU tagging along for the ride. There we go. Oh, hello. Oh, that was pretty sweet. Probably could have stood about an extra 5 knots and a little more nose down, but that was pretty damn sweet. Here, let's do the Y50 shot with the GPU hanging out. All right. I don't know why I like the Y50 shot so much. I guess because I grew up watching Hawaii 5.0. But that said, there we go. Zoom in a little bit here. See that big old GPU coming at us here. Very nice. I wish it would play sounds on replay, because this plane would sound wonderful zooming overhead coming in for a picture perfect landing like this. That's pretty damn good looking. Oof, beautiful landing. Boom, right on the center line. Alright, well, so much for the weather, but I guess we lucked out on it, and I'm glad we did. And we will sit here, get our cargo unloaded, and get the hell out of Dodge before things get too much worse here. And a lot of identical looking people striking identical poses just standing around, but well, they seem lost in thought, so we won't disturb them. But as our props freewheel there, and the flag, look at that, flag flies very proudly. We will see you again next time, and for everybody in Florida, I hope everything turns out okay for you. We're all thinking about you, and we're all ready to help. So, bye-bye.